Hi, this is Steve Walton from Tropic Heating and PatioHeat.com, specializing in sales, service, and custom designs for residential and commercial outdoor patio heating. Please consider hitting that like button if you do find this information helpful. It helps others like you find our channel, and I truly appreciate all of you who have already done so. Thank you. All right, here we have a residential screened-in patio. This is a deck patio here, and there's a couple of considerations that we want to take a look at. First of all, it's screened in, and we also have a few, this one beam here, main beam in the middle of the patio. We also have a door. Now the customer did state that they were willing to transition this door from swinging inwards to outwards, but let's see what we can do if there's any way we can leave it like that. And then we have a couple of different seating areas. We have this reclining area, a dining, and then a couple of chairs here. Now, I did see on the plan there is a doorway into the residence here. I'm assuming that this doorway is a sliding doorway. If it swings out, that might be an issue that we want to take a look at, but I don't think so, based on what I have planned here. So, first of all, I'm going to take off the screen. And then I'm going to show you the dimensions overall. So overall dimensions, you can see here we have this space here is 16.3. So I think I have that on the inside edge of these posts. And then this distance here I have at 18.8. And there's an additional I think 3.5 inches, something of that nature, or 3.5 feet over here. My color's a little dark, so I think I think there's about 3 feet depth over here where these bay windows come out from the residence. All right, so let's see what we can do here. I'm going to turn, and the height, sorry about that, the height is 7 feet, let's call it 7 feet 7 at the bottom edge of this beam, and I think that's about it. So let me go ahead and turn that off. So I have 3 different options. Let's go with the first option. And the first option we have here would be gas heaters. Now, I'm assuming this area is a cold climate. And that being said, the majority of the most heat that you can get would be the best. Now, these could be either Sunpack Model S34s or Model TSH. A TSH is a 2-stage hardwired unit where you can hit one switch on and it turns the heater on. The other switch would be controlling the high-low, high being 34,000, low being 25,000 BTUs, that is. And so let's go ahead and look at the footprint, and you can see here that our height is just about the same height of it's about maybe an inch below the top of this. Now what we need to do is we need to maintain, I have this heater pointed straight down to the ground. We need to maintain a clearance of 14 inches from the top edge of this heater to these rafters. And so that's where this distance comes in. And it's based off of this edge, not this edge, because that's the low point of the rafter. And that's true on both sides. I have these centered within this span here, and then also centered within this span over here. Now, of course, with this door, if you had this configuration, you'd have to have the door swinging outside. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat. Footprint of heat, you can see here, is pretty well covered. The only portion of this deck that I don't have covered would be the seating inside here. Now, it is a protected area and you will receive heat. It's just not the optimum amount of heat that you can expect. So if it was a colder day, you could just slide the chair out a little bit further. But you can see here with these 4 units, we have a really, really good coverage. And with the high-low option, you can maintain that comfort level for a good portion of the colder climate. Now, I'm not sure where exactly this application is. However, here in Southern California, this would be considered probably a pretty warm application in the winter, because of the fact that the heaters are down a little bit lower than I would prefer them to be. I like to have these about 8 feet off the ground, and I think we're just right around that 8-foot level, so something to consider. But the high-low would give you that option of reducing the output so that during the moderate climate, let's say around 65-degree temperature, and after about an hour of use, you could turn those down. Now, if you're in the low, let's say 30s, this may not be adequate for that kind of temperature whatsoever, and probably not below the 50 degree level. All right, let's go ahead and turn that off, and let's give you an option 2. Option 2 would be placing Infratech units, which are, these are CD6024, 6,000 watt, 240 volts, dual elements. You can see here that I've maneuvered the bracket so that it matches the slope of the ceiling. And also, if you look closely here, you can see that they're not physically attached, and that's because we do have a clearance of combustible here. And let's go ahead and look at that. So this is our 6 inches of clearance around the heater itself, and you can see that I'm just maintaining that by moving this heater. I think it's just let me see, I have a little gauge up here, so it's just 3/4 away from these rafters here. So not sure how you're going to maintain that, but you know, we're just barely there with the OEM bracket itself. They do have a 2-inch extension bracket that you could purchase, and that would for sure give you that additional clearance that you're looking for. All right, and clearance below, no problem at all, even with the doorway there. Okay, and let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat. Footprint of heat, you can see, is a fairly well covered area. Now, I do have these units pushed in a little bit further. They're not centered in this span here. I think I have them at just about 3.5 feet from the center point here on this beam out this direction. I'm just trying to get them as high as possible and still give the maximum coverage for the space here. Now you can see here we're about the same, a little bit less as far as the inside chairs there. So that would be another option. Okay, I'm going to turn this dimension back off here, and then let's get rid of that, and let's go with a third option. Third option would be placing the units on the outside edge. Now, the issue with this is the fact that, again, this is a screened in room, and if I put the clearance below, you can see that my clearances aren't really being met with the screen material here. So I'm not sure what that screen material is going to be, but if it's something like nylon based or something like that, then this might be an issue. You can see here on the ray that I'm not penetrating the screen in this zone area here. However, that is the clearance to the heater itself, so bear that in mind. I'm going to take off that screen again, and let's just go ahead and take a look at this footprint. So footprint of heat, I think, is fairly well with this application. You can see out here, you know, if you're sitting in the middle, you'd be overlapped by basically 4 rays. And by the way, this is centered in this position here and centered in this position here. Again, these chairs on the inside edge are just not going to be hit. But yes, there's a nice warm spot here, and the rest of the seating area is fairly well heated, I would say. Again, you know, we're not talking about the 30-degree weather. However, some people are acclimated to the lower temperatures, and this might feel fine for some. For me, it would not at that temperature. However, if I was in the let's say the mid-50s, I would be fine out here. So there you go. I hope this has helped. My name is Steve Walton from Tropic Heating and PatioHeat.com. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application, feel free to send us an email to designs@patioheat.com. Thank you very much, and you have a great day.